Welcome, data refiners and curious outsiders, to a place where the lines between your professional and personal self don't just blur, they completely disappear. We're talking, of course, about Lumon Industries and the chilling, mind-bending reality of Severance. If you've been yearning to revisit the enigmatic halls of Macrodata Refinement, understand those bizarre wellness sessions, or just make sense of exactly what was going on with the waffle party, then you're in the right place with Recap World. Get ready to activate your Innie memory, because today we're diving deep into the unsettling, brilliant, and utterly captivating Season 1 of Severance. Mark Scout, an employee in Lumon Industries' Macrodata Refinement MD department, gets a promotion to department head after his coworker Petey suddenly leaves. His first job is to orient Helly, the new hire. She wakes up in a conference room with no memory and demands to leave, only to find out she can't. A video explains she's undergone the severance procedure, splitting her memories so her Innie only exists at work. Meanwhile, the outside Mark, a grieving former professor living in the Lumon subsidized town of Kier, runs into Petey. Petey claims to have reversed his supposedly permanent severance. Mark goes home, unaware that his neighbor, Mrs. Selvig, is actually his senior manager, Harmony Cobel. Okay, let's rewind. Helly undergoes the severance procedure and a microchip is implanted in her brain. Inside Lumon, her innate self meets co-workers Dylan and Irving, tasked with sorting encrypted numbers. During a welcome party, Helly tries to escape with a resignation note, but Lumon's code detectors halt the elevator, blocking communication. Mark takes the blame and is sent to the break room as punishment. Meanwhile, Irving hallucinates black liquid, triggering a wellness check. Counselor Miss Casey recites vague facts about Irving's Outie, forcing him to react neutrally. At the wellness center, Irving meets Bert, head of optics and design. Then outside Lumon, Petey explains his reintegration sickness from reversing severance. He tells Mark about the break room, playing a recording of Mark's forced apology. Mark offers Petey shelter, but Petey hallucinates and collapses while showering. Petey, the reintegrated former Lumon employee, drops a bombshell on Mark. Mysterious benefactors helped him escape Lumon. Outside Lumon's watchful eye, Mark's sister and brother-in-law, Devin and Rickon, deliver Rickon's book, The You Are, and Cobel snatches it, hunting for hidden messages. Petey spots her, flees, and succumbs to more hallucinations, collapsing at a convenience store. Inside, Helly's resignation is flatly denied. Mark thwarts her desperate attempts to contact her Outie. Irving then guides her to the Perpetuity Wing, Lumon's unsettling tribute to its founder, Helena Eagan. After another escape attempt, Helly faces the dreaded break room, forced by Milchick to recite apologies. As his shift ends, Mark finds a hidden map from Petey. Later, Mark follows an ambulance, finding Petey being taken away. He rushes home to hide the evidence, but Petey's abandoned phone begins to ring. Mark quickly hides Petey's phone, a growing dread rising with each missed call from that persistent blocked number. The next day, Irving finds solace in the O&D department, a quiet bond forming with Bert. There, he stumbles upon Rickon's forbidden book, which Mark, despite his internal conflict, decides to keep. Helly returns from the break room, her spirit raw after being forced to apologize over 1,000 times. When she finds Petey's map, Mark ruthlessly shreds it. Pushed to her absolute limit, Helly grabs a paper cutter, threatening self-mutilation unless her resignation is recorded. But her Outie's response is a chilling one final rejection, denying her Innie's very existence. That night, a news alert confirms the worst. Petey is dead. Mark and Cobel, as Mrs. Selvig, attend the funeral where Cobel's true agenda is revealed, as she surreptitiously extracts Petey's severance chip. Later, during a special wellness session, Miss Casey makes Mark sculpt his grief, leading him to create a tree, a symbol of his Outie's visit to Gemma's memorial. Meanwhile, Irving unearths an unsettling truth. O&D isn't just 2 people, but at least 7, hidden in a massive, unlabeled back room. And in a final, agonizing act of defiance against her captivity, Helly smuggles out an extension cord and attempts to hang herself in an elevator. Helly survives her suicide attempt, returning to work injured after 3 days. Mark continues reading Rickon's book, drawn to its anti-establishment message. Outside, Mark visits Devon and Rickon at a birthing lodge for Devon's childbirth. With Helly back, Cobel orders Miss Casey to watch her closely, but Mark secretly takes Helly out of MDR, revealing he's been recreating PD's map. Helly, initially resistant, agrees to help. Meanwhile, Bert admits to Irving and Dylan that he lied about OND's size because MDR was untrustworthy. They realize Lumon deliberately pits departments against each other. Bert then leads them to OND's vast, secret back room, introducing them to his many hidden employees, revealing the true scale of Lumon's conspiracy. Lumon security chief Doug Grainer informs Cobel that Regabi, an ex-employee, is behind PD's reintegration. Meanwhile, Irving and Bert acknowledge their feelings, though Irving hesitates to commit. Mark bravely leads MDR into O&D, urging departments to unite and uncover Lumon's secrets. Milchick swiftly sends Mark to the break room. Later, Milchick briefly awakens Dylan's Innie inside his Outie's home to retrieve a stolen card, revealing Dylan has a son. Outside, Cobel as Mrs. Selvig cunningly befriends Devon and Rickon as their lactation consultant. Mark goes on a date, singing along to an anti-Lumon protest song. He finally answers PD's phone. It's Regabi, arranging a secret meeting. In response, Cobel orders a keycard-locked door for MDR, tightening Lumon's control. As Mark meets Regabi, Grainer enters. Following a tip, Regabi kills Grainer, giving Mark his access card to deliver to his Innie. Back at Lumon, Milchick initiates a music dance experience. Dylan, enraged over his child, refuses to participate and attacks Milchick. After Milchick leaves, Dylan reveals Lumon's chilling overtime contingency, the ability to wake Innies outside the floor. The MDR team uses Grainer's card to access the hallways. Mark and Helly scheme to find the security office, where they discover how the overtime contingency is activated. Dylan volunteers to stay behind to activate the others. Meanwhile, Irving, worried for Bert, heads to O&D. He's devastated to find Bert retiring and openly berates Milchick for exploiting severed employees. After work, Alexa visits a drunken Mark. He scares her off by tearing up a photo of Gemma. Alone, Mark reassembles the photo, revealing it to be Ms. Casey. In the outside world, Irving's Outie lives alone, obsessively painting images of a dark corridor. Inside Lumon, Helly completes her data refinement, hitting MDR's quarterly quota. After a final wellness session with Mark, Ms. Casey is disturbingly sent to the testing floor, an entrance matching Irving's paintings. Meanwhile, while MDR celebrates their success, Cobel faces Lumon's board. She's suspended for hiding Helly's suicide attempt, her Mrs. Selvig activities. The MDR team prepares for their desperate gamble. Dylan will remotely awaken them in the outside world. Before the moment, Helly shares a kiss with Mark. Mark's Outie attends Rickon's book party, telling Mrs. Selvig he plans to quit Lumon, which she encourages. Dylan, who is receiving a bizarre waffle party reward, abruptly leaves to access the security office. With a determined push, he activates the overtime contingency, simultaneously awakening Mark, Irving, and Helly's Innies in the terrifying, unfamiliar outside world. Mark's Innie awakens at Devon's, hugging Mrs. Selvig before calling her Cobel. Alerting her to the overtime contingency, Cobel immediately warns Milchick. Mark privately tells Devon he's his Innie, learning of Gemma's death and Mrs. Selvig's true identity as his boss. Irving awakens in his apartment, discovering his Outie's paintings, then uses a map and directory to find Bert. Helly awakens at a Lumon gala, horrified to learn she is Helena Eagan, CEO Jame Eagan's daughter, undergoing severance as a publicity stunt. Cobel races to stop her, but Helly takes the stage, exposing the Innies' subjugation. Irving arrives at Bert's, heartbroken to find Bert is already in a relationship. Mark finds a photo revealing Miss Casey is Gemma. He rushes to tell Devon, but only manages she's alive before Milchick tackles Dylan, deactivating the overtime contingency and reverting them all to their Outies. And just like that, the screen goes dark, leaving us reeling from a finale that ripped open the very fabric of Lumon's carefully constructed reality. With Mark Irving and Helly's Innies finally exposed to the bewildering outside world and those last-second revelations shattering everything we thought we knew, Season 1 of Severance left us with more questions than answers. What does it all mean for our defiant Innies? And how will the outside world react to this explosive breach? Did you see that Miss Casey reveal coming? And what are your wildest theories for Season 2? Dive into the comments below and let us know. If you're as obsessed with this show as we are, go ahead and hit that like button, share this recap with anyone who needs a refresher, and definitely subscribe to Recap World so you don't miss our next deep dive into the mysteries of Lumon.